Charts show data in a very visual way. Here we have the seasonal sales data that we've been working with, and we're going to create a chart to show the relative sales of products A, B, C, and D for the 4 seasons of the year. I want to see how product A performed across all the 4 seasons, where it sold the most and where it sold the least, and the same for the other products. To create a chart, I'll start by selecting over the data that I want to chart. The actual selection here is quite important. I need to include the headings for the columns and for the rows, but I need to omit the total rows and the total column. Otherwise, this data will be included in the chart and it will throw everything off. To create the chart, I'll choose the Insert tab on the ribbon, and I could go ahead here and select a particular type of chart if I know what sort of chart I want to use. But I can also select this new tool, Recommended Charts. I'll click it. Recommended Charts is an option that's new to Excel 2013. It shows you a selection of charts that you can use to plot your data with. Excel has gone ahead and looked at the data and determined the best sort of charts that you would use to plot this data, so it's shortlisted the contenders for you. This is a great way to quick start creating a chart, particularly if you're unsure exactly what type of chart to use. This chart, the clustered column chart, is showing the products across the x-axis, with the columns here representing the relative sales for each of the seasons of the year. This is also a clustered column chart, but in this case we're seeing the seasons here, and each of these columns represents a product within those seasons. This chart is the stacked column chart. In this case, all 4 products have been stacked on top of each other so that we can see how the sales went over the 4 seasons, comparing 4 seasons and seeing the products within those seasons. And there's another stacked column chart here and a bar chart. But I'm going to select this particular chart because it shows me my data in a way that allows me to answer the questions I have of this data. I'll select it and click OK. And I'm just going to drag with my mouse and the left mouse button to position my chart underneath my data. And let's have a look and see what the chart is telling me. I was interested in how product A performed across the year. I can see that it sold most in summer and least in winter. And product B was the other way round. It sold least in summer and most in winter. This chart is answering for me very easily the questions I have of it. When we're working with charts in Excel, it's important to be able to select and identify various areas in your chart, so I'm going to have a look at those now. This is the x-axis. It's showing the labels for the products. This is the y-axis. These are the units sold or the dollars sales. We don't have an indication here as to what they represent, but these are the sales of the products for the 4 seasons of the year. This is the chart title. We'll see later how we can type a title for our chart. And here are the individual series. This is spring. It's colored blue, and when I click on it you can see that all the spring data is selected, and it's selected here too in the data table. Here is summer's data, and all the 4 columns are selected. If I click again on one column, I've selected just that particular column, just product A for summer. That's this one little piece of data here. You can also select on things like the grid lines here at the back, and when you do, you can get a chance at formatting those, and we'll see that later in another video. For now, if you have a difficulty selecting an area of a chart, click the chart to select it, and from the Chart Tools Format tab, you see that you have a drop-down list over here, and this allows you to select various areas of the chart. For example, we could select the legend. Click it, and the legend is selected. We can select the plot area. Click plot area, and this is selecting the plot area. And we can also select, for example, summer, and here is summer selected. If you ever need to select a particular area of the chart, using this drop-down list in the Chart Tools Format tab might help you select a series that is a little bit difficult to select any other way.